What's up, YouTube? Welcome back or welcome to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time. This is my channel, Pixie Dust and Spirit Alchemy, where we talk about all sorts of things taboo, occult, mystical, magical, paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, stuff like that. Guys, today's video is a little bit different. It's been a long time coming, to be honest. It doesn't have anything to do with, well, I won't say it doesn't have anything to do with magic, but it's not a book review or anything of the sort. It is sort of a follow-up video, not a follow-up video, but it is similar to the video that I made back in 2019, which I will post a link to in here, which was about twin flames, and specifically about how the polarity of divine masculine or divine feminine shows up in any gender. So my video today is sort of a re-emphasis on that. It's not about twin flames. I myself have sort of separated from the twin flame label. I mean, it's just a label. It doesn't mean anything to me personally. But the existence of polarity, the existence of duality, does exist in relationships and in humans and in every single living being on the planet. And if some people are, into the spiritual community, like I feel like spirituality is trending and conscious knowledge is like trending, which is not a great thing. I mean, like, yes, I want people to know this, and people need to wake up, and we need to raise consciousness and all that. But if it's trending in pop culture, there's not really an inner, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels to me that the authenticity isn't there. So anyways, I won't get off too much on that, but I do see a lot of couples on social media who claim to be in a divine union. 9 out of 10 couples that I see that share this message of like sacred sexuality or sacred union or working on your inner feminine and inner masculine, your warrior king and your oracle queen, 99% of those couples are heterosexual straight couples with a male and a female, biological male and biological female. There's one couple that I have found on YouTube that is decently well known, that is a gay couple, 2 women, they're Twin Flame Revolution. If anyone's curious, I can post a link to their channel in the description. And they are the only ones that I've seen so far who I feel speak authentically from a genuine place and really embody how the polarities and the gender of masculine and feminine show up in a relationship where it's 2 of the same sex. Because for some reason, in 2024, I still see people who believe that marriage should only be between a man and a woman, and that sacred union or sacred marriage can only exist between a man and a woman. So I'm going to get into a couple of the Hermetic principles. I have this book here, The Kybalion, which if no one has seen, I and my friend Sarah Floor have done a podcast on the chapters, the principles in this, in my Diving Deeper into the Kybalion podcast, which is on a playlist on my channel. I can post a link to that here as well. So I'm going to speak on the principle of polarity and the principle of gender. And because I feel the need to remind people to share that this union, that this divine union that a lot of people are seeking doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be what these couples on Instagram or on YouTube are even teaching or showing. I mean, not that their teachings are bad, but everyone is different, right? So your relationship, your union is going to look different. We can't compare it to anyone else. We can learn what we need from others, but we take what resonates and we learn by being in the union how these energies, these polarities of masculine and feminine manifest and fluctuate and dance with each other. What is polarity in relationships? Polarity in relationships is the spark that occurs between two opposing energies, masculine and feminine. Two opposing energies, not two opposing sexes, not two opposing genders, two opposing energies. The principle of polarity in this book states that the principle of polarity embodies the truth that all manifested things have two sides, two aspects, two poles, a pair of opposites with manifold degrees between the two extremes. So take gender completely out of this, and you're left with the extremes of masculine and feminine forces, of masculine and feminine energies. As human beings, as light bodies, of vibrational energy bodies that we are, of spiritual beings, every living thing, not just humans, in this world, and maybe in others, has both masculine and feminine energies. These couples that I see promoting, divine union, and the masculine is like the warrior king, or the man is like the warrior king, and the woman is this oracle queen. Not every couple is going to show up like that. Not every couple is going to look like that. And that's not to say that this warrior king, that this like masculine man doesn't have feminine quality, feminine side, feminine energy that comes out. So really the question is, how is each person in the union balancing their own inner masculine and inner feminine? I will speak briefly just from the principle of gender. This states that the great seventh Hermetic principle, the principle of gender, embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything, that the masculine and feminine principles are ever present and active in all phases of phenomena on each and every plane of life. At this point, we think it well to call your attention to the fact that gender, in its Hermetic sense, and sex, in the ordinarily accepted use of the term, are not the same. So let's say, for example, that you have a same-sex couple, which you don't see too many of them on, promoting sacred union yet. This is a gap in the market that will be filled. And let's say you have two feminine lesbians together. And there's one that's not obviously more masculine and one that's not obviously more feminine. They're both equally feminine from the outside, from appearance. That has nothing to do with the energy underneath. And even then, if you had a more masculine woman in the relationship, she could be in a balance of more feminine energies, being more sensitive, more receptive, more creative. And these polarities within ourselves fluctuate. They're not set in stone. People sometimes are more in their masculine energy and sometimes more in your feminine energy. Now, I realize that I am not sitting here with my divine union partner and talking about how this shows up in our dynamic. I am not currently in union with anyone, but I have been in relationships before, and I would like to be in a relationship again when the time is right. And sure, divine union or whatever, like spirituality is important for me to incorporate in some level in my relationships, and having that relationship dynamic be sacred and balanced and teamwork and working together. Sure, that whole divine union, whatever. And just because I'm not in union at this time doesn't mean I can't speak on this, because I personally get irritated when I see, all these like retreats for couples that are just, you know, like, and all this stuff, mainly because I'm not seeing it spread the message for everyone. It seems a little bit unbalanced, like the heterosexuals are taking over. I'm sick of it. Just kidding. I'm not sick of it, but just because someone's truth looks different and is manifested differently on the outside doesn't mean that there isn't a similar truth within us. Every one of us has masculine and feminine properties. If you really want to know more, watch my other video on divine masculine showing up in a feminine body and divine feminine showing up in a masculine body and all that. It is all energy. And sure, for heterosexual couples, perhaps it is important, and just not even for heterosexual couples, but for men and women, it is important to identify with these primal archetypes of gender and sexuality that I see being preached and being taught online. But it is equally as important to embrace both sides and to realize that every human is equal. Every human is capable and of being in a divine union, of finding their perfect balance, their perfect energetic counterpart, regardless of what gender that shows up in, regardless of what sex it shows up in. And first and foremost, it is important to balance both of the polarities within us. So the word gender is derived from the Latin root meaning to beget, to procreate, to generate, to create, to produce. That doesn't necessarily mean to have a baby. In this sort of divine union, when the highest vibration of masculine and feminine energies meets its counterpart in another person, there can be other sort of creations that are manifested from this union, not just having a child. But we have to know our truth, the truth within ourselves. And if anyone out there is still thinking or believing that sacred union or marriage in general can only be between a man and a woman, and that other, you know, homosexual relationships or marriages aren't as sacred or divine, I feel like you probably still go to church and take what the Bible says verbatim. And even if you do think that, why does it matter to you? Because you're probably a heterosexual person saying that. I'm just saying. I trust that in time there will be more homosexual couples that are in sort of that are consciousness leaders, you know, and maybe they're out there already and I just don't see them. But they are still the minority if they are out there, and we'll say that. And don't compare your relationship or your journey of union to anyone else's. Take truths that resonate, but don't think it should look a certain way just because someone else's does. So I hope I made sense today. I felt like speaking on this, and I may speak on this a bit more in a longer video sometime, because I think it's important. I just think it's important to be talked about, especially as on the rise of like spirituality, whether or not it's a trending topic. You know, everyone has the equal ability to be in this sacred union if that's what you desire, and if that's not your truth, then that's okay. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you guys like this video, check out my other video that I made years ago on a similar topic. And also like this video, subscribe to my channel. I know this might be for more of a select audience than some of my other magic videos, or maybe it's for a bigger audience than the magic videos are for more select. But regardless, I hope that you learned something. I hope you were reminded of something. And if you would like to hear more videos on this topic, on this sort of topic, then I would be happy to make them. So guys, as always, stay kind, stay curious, and until next time, peace.